But the one thing that people did not talk about, or at least I heard about, were hello and welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm talking to the camera, but you're welcome to listen, and you're welcome to chip in if you have anything to say. Yeah, Bear is in the saucer right next to me. He was gonna be napping. I thought I should have started filming right when you went down for your nap, but it was his last nap of the day, so I knew it was gonna be shorter than usual. But we're trying it, right? He's fed, he's good. So maybe if I just keep talking, he'll be more entertained, or maybe he'll want me to pick him up. It'll probably be the latter. If you're new here, my name is Sam Griffin. I am a mom. I like to post things, all mom things and lifestyle and faith. So welcome. I have my decaf coffee. I cannot drink caffeine later than like noon without it affecting my sleep. So it is about 3:30 in the afternoon, and we've got a warm cup of decaf. I did not feel like I could really enjoy this video without just a nice warm cup of something in my hand. So decaf coffee it is, and I like coffee. Okay, here's the reality. As I film this video, I have like 300 something subscribers. I know that's not a lot, but that's okay. And so I'm a very small YouTuber. Therefore, I don't really do stuff on my Instagram. Maybe one day down the road. The point of me saying that is I did not feel like I would get much feedback if I asked anybody like for questions. So I went to Ask GPT. Ask GPT? I went to GPT. Wait, why am I struggling with the name? Chat GPT, not Ask GPT. I was like, that does not sound right. Chat GPT. And I asked it a question to give me questions. Basically, I asked it to give me questions to answer for this video. So in one sense, I feel really lame in doing this. And then in another sense, when I'm thinking rightly and I'm thinking like not caring so much about what others think, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? This is fun. And this is a way for you, hopefully, if you've been watching my videos or if you're new here, just to get to know me a little bit. And then maybe one day down the road, we'll do an actual Q&A where it's like you guys are asking the questions, right? Okay, so I basically am going to do a few just like generic first-time mom questions. And then I was going to do more like Christian faith-based mom questions. I asked ChatGPT, but I have not really looked at the questions. It just like generated a ton. And so we're just going to scroll and see what we like and what we want to talk about. Just to give some sort of a background to go off just so that you know who I am. I am 29. I have a 7-month-old boy named Bear. That's his nickname. We nickname him Bear. I'm married to my husband, who is full-time. He's like in the process of becoming a full-time pastor. I like to read a lot. I actually have a video of reading as much as I can as a mom. I like to cook and bake when I don't feel stressed about it. Obviously, I love to hang out with friends and just go out. I like to be outside. I like hiking. My husband and I, we used to backpack before we had kids, not a ton, but a little bit. And that was always so fun for me. I love coffee. So any sort of coffee shop I like to visit, especially locally owned. I like to browse and peruse bookstores, especially those locally owned. Yeah, those are little things I like to do. The other thing is we've been married. My husband and I have been married for 7 years in December, and it's currently November, so it's coming up on 7 years, which is wild. We got married young, and it's been fun. and awesome. Okay, let's get into the questions, shall we? The first question was, how has motherhood changed you? I feel like that's a pretty generic, or like it could be broad or super specific. I think overall, I was very much looking forward to motherhood. Like if I knew when I was younger that I could guarantee that I was going to be a mom, I think I would have said I want to be a stay-at-home mom. But maybe not, because I didn't really, like, that wasn't much of a thing in my mind growing up. I have other passions. Like, I went to school for teaching, and so I do like to teach, especially younger kids. Yeah, I just was like really looking forward to being a mom, and didn't know if I would be able to. You just never know until you try, and nothing is promised. And so I'm thankful that I am blessed and able to be a mom. I feel like it's made me more calm. When we were trying to get pregnant, I was striving to be content in each day and just remember that, like, the Lord didn't owe me a child. Do you want your passy? The Lord didn't owe me a child, but I really, really wanted one. And I was just like praying and having my mind easily wander to the future and daydreaming about having a kid one day was definitely really tricky when I was trying to put on contentment. All that being said, I was anxious, more anxious. I was just easily flustered. I think overall in general, I was definitely discontent at times. So I do strive to my contentment in the Lord, but it's definitely like been a blessing that I've been able to have a kid. So I think because of that, I've been just more calm and confident and just finally feel like I am like myself, if that makes sense. I think because I had this desire stirring my heart for a few years now of wanting to be a mom, and I wasn't there. So I was just like, this is hard. I was just constantly wrestling with that. So to answer your question, not your question, ChatGPT's question, I have been feeling more calm and I think at peace and just having more energy as a mom. Ooh, this is a good one. What do you think people don't talk enough about when it comes to motherhood? There's probably a lot of things that aren't talked about, but then there are a lot of things that are talked about ad nauseum, like probably too much and need to reel it back. The one thing that comes to mind is actually it feels silly in the grand scheme of being a mom, but the one thing that people did not talk about, or at least I heard about, were the newborn stages at night when you were sleeping and baby's in the bassinet, and they would make these like grunting noises, like they were constantly straining. I'm saying they, like babies in general, but like like something was wrong. And we asked the pediatrician, I Googled it, like it was normal, but it still felt like something was wrong. And then they're making all these faces, and it's just like they're literally getting used to being out in the world and being alive, and their digestive systems, everything is just changing and learning. And I was like, well, that makes sense, but it's terrifying when you don't hear about it and no one talks to you about it. And I know there's like so many things that like you could talk about from a mom to be, that you wouldn't know where to start unless they ask questions, or you don't want to like give them unnecessary reasons to worry or fear. So I'm not blaming anyone. Those are big bounces, buddy. I would say the grunting is very normal. I mean, obviously you will know your baby best. And so if there's something that seems abnormal, it never hurts to ask. I would say that would be the one thing that people don't talk about enough about being new to motherhood. What is one piece of advice you would give to other first-time moms? Let me pick them up. Because you are wanting mama's attention, aren't you? Big boy. Okay. It is the next day and Bear is down for a nap. We are continuing this today. I don't have a little cozy drink right now, but that's okay. I have a little cozy blanket. The answer that I have to yesterday's question about what's one piece of advice you'd give to new-time moms or first-time moms is to strive to appreciate each phase that your baby is going through. I think there are a lot of people who will comment, and I think they mean well for the most part. I think some people are just really aren't thinking through what they're saying or whatever, but I think there's a lot of comments and things said about just don't blink or whatever, and go by so fast. Yeah, it will go by fast, but it's not bad. It's the way it should be, in the sense of your baby growing up and getting older. So enjoy each phase, like grieve properly the phase that's passing, but rejoice into the next. It's just the way it should be. We're called to be parents, and it's part of parenthood is preparing the way for your child to grow to be independent one day, and Lord willing, to be a parent of their own. And that is the advice that I would have. Am I even recording? Okay. How have your friendships or social life changed since becoming a mom? So this one's interesting because I think there's like different experiences that different people have, but it's been unique because not only did I become a mom, but I also moved cities. And so I feel like I just transitioned in two big different ways. So I have like my friendships that I made back from where I lived, and I still keep in touch with a lot of those friends, but it's not the same as when I lived there. But there was like a lot of my friends were an hour away from where I lived because I lived I lived outside of the big city that they lived in. And so it was just a commute. So I'm curious, I kind of wondered what that would look like if I stayed there and had a baby. Like, would I make the effort to drive to an hour away with a baby? Probably, but probably not as often as I think I would. And I know they would come to me as well. But here I live in a different city, and it's just 15, 20 minutes everywhere you go, or 5 to 10 minutes, and a lot more convenient. But I'm also in that season of making new friends. And I'm striving to make friends with young adults, with married couples who don't have kids, and with other new moms. And so I think the adjustment of making new friends, it just is kind of natural with being in a new city. So I think it's changed, but there's also a lot of opportunity and like newer opportunities, and it's exciting. For example, this afternoon, I'm going to a friend's house, and we're gonna have, our boys are close in age, and so they're not at the peak age of like play dates yet, but it's still an opportunity for them to interact and for us, me and the other mom, to continue to get to know one another better. I think it's changed, and it's still new and exciting. And I can't just like go out to dinner at night whenever I want or whatever, but it doesn't seem like a big deal. It doesn't seem like a hindrance. How do you see God's love differently since becoming a mom? Before becoming a mom, I heard a lot of like how when you're a parent, it allows you to experience God's love at a whole new level because you can empathize with the kind of love he has, the fatherly love he has. And I would just say that's like 100% true. It just, and you like hear the type of love you have for your child is just unlike any other love. You physically can't experience that kind of love until you go through something like that. And there's only so much mental preparation you can have towards that. And it's like, okay, like I know that, but I haven't experienced that. So once it happened, once I became a mom, I mean, it was just immediate love. Like even before, even when I was pregnant, I was just like, wow, like I already love this being that I can't even see. I can't imagine the love I'm gonna experience when I can hold him in my arms. And then I can't imagine, and then like when that happened, I can't imagine the experience of love that the love I'm gonna experience when I can see his personality, when I can interact with him, when he can respond to me, when I can find what he loves. And I'm just like my love literally only continues to grow. And I don't know, it's like God's love is never changing. Like his love is so infinite. And so like that helps me remember like, wow, my love for my son is growing and I love him so much. Like I would do so much for him, yet our Father's love is even more. Wow. You know, like it's awesome. It's worshipful. It's been really cool. How has motherhood strengthened your prayer life? So prayer and me have this like relationship that's up and down, like most things, obviously. Prayer has always been like a weaker thing for me in my spiritual discipline. I definitely find myself praying throughout the day, whether I'm like doing things, but having devoted time to prayer besides in the morning and evening has been a little bit hard for me. I've also learned to lean on prayer, or lean on the Lord through prayer all the more, because having a child just continues to remind me that like I am so out of control every single day, every single night when I put him down to sleep and I'm just like, hey, I'll see you in the morning. I don't know, there's like this anxiousness that I'm tempted to have sometimes, especially early on when he was a newborn, of like, is he okay? Is he still breathing kind of thing? But it's literally the Lord who sustains his life every single breath, every single second of his life. He sustains, and I am not in control. I can do what I know is wise to do, but it's literally the Lord. And so it's my role and responsibility as a Christian to call out to the Lord and to ask him every night. I pray that he will keep him safe and that he will have his hand over him and protect him. Of course, that he will save him when he's older and can understand and grasp the gospel. And so it is up to the Lord. So I think in a way that it's given me more reason to pray, or more desire to pray. My perspective on the power of prayer has only increased, I would say. Like, I believe the power of prayer is so much more important than I did before. And I like knew it, but like I'm experiencing it. Okay, let's do 2 more. I don't know how many question and answers people usually do, but I feel like I'm just talking for a long time. And I'll also get like weirdly like insecure. People don't want to hear all these, but you know, if you don't want to hear it, you just click off, right? Okay, how do you rely on God's strength when you're feeling exhausted or overwhelmed? Okay, this is a loaded question, and I actually have a whole other video, and I will link it right here to this, pertaining to being tired and having joy in the Lord even when you're exhausted, because your energy levels can be zapped. Like that. It's definitely a struggle, but I think in a way, like when we are weak, he is strong. And so that is a very tangible reminder of, okay, Lord, I only got 3 hours of sleep tonight. Lord, please give me the grace I need in this moment, in this day, to persevere. And I physically feel nauseous when I get so tired. And I, like, even 2 days ago, I literally got 3 hours of sleep, and I woke up and I was like, well, I'd been awake, but I just thought, I am scared of today. Like, today's going to be a long day, and I'm so scared. And I just had to pray. I was like, Lord, you knew I was only going to get 3 hours of sleep, but you can also sustain me. And the amount of energy I had, I wasn't like a Energizer buddy, but I was fine, was just, it was supernatural, honestly. It was from the Lord. And so it just helped me remember to pray when I was exhausted. And there's times when I feel overwhelmed. And I do think that sometimes when you're overwhelmed, it's a good reminder and a good red flag to kind of take a step back and evaluate, okay, am I overwhelmed because I'm just like tired, I had a bad night's sleep, or am I overwhelmed because I'm putting too much on my plate? I'm saying yes to too many things. I actually had something like that happen just a few weeks ago, and I reevaluated. I talked to Gunther. I was like, hey, I think that I can tell I'm starting to get stressed and emotional about things that shouldn't really make me emotional. I think I need to cut back on this. And he was like, yeah, I agree 100%. And I did. And it was a pretty simple fix in that situation. And not everything is like that. Yeah, sometimes you have to say no to be able to say yes to fewer things, and yes in a better way. I say also keeping up with your spiritual disciplines, like staying in the word, even when you don't want to, even if it's just 5 minutes, like even if it's just a verse, having worship music on when you're exhausted and you don't have mental capacity just to think through what you're reading. Those are the questions and answers I have. And there's not a ton, but I feel like that's, for my first one, that wasn't too bad. So if anybody watching this wants to see another one day down the road, let me know in the comments below. I don't know when that would be. It would be when I have a bigger subscribers family kind of thing. I am going to go eat some lunch because I feel my blood sugar plummeting. And I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye. Mwah.